Good morning. Welcome to Tea Time with Amie and Bev.
Good morning.
We're live streaming in our Facebook group, and so they get to see a little bit before I hit record in now. And so they are probably like, okay, these two girls might have something they might get it together. We don't even know.
If you're lucky.
She says, Colton says, good morning.
Good morning,
Yay.
Colton.
Yay. How wonderful that he's with us.
Yes, it is wonderful.
Good morning. Hi. Hello. This is kind of the way I'm feeling right now.
That's the energies, though.
Yeah.
You know, that's the energies. If anyone follows like the Schumann resonance or any of that kind of stuff, we're in a different time frame right now.
Yeah.
We really are. The energies are. I guess she was talking about today. I was listening to it. She was talking about being in the 19 hertz, which we hear at 20 hertz, and at 19 hertz we feel it, but it's a fear hertz. Like it's fear and anxiety and reaction. So a lot of these things people are going to start probably noticing probably in the last, I'd probably say in the last week, they've probably been noticing it because it's straight across all the way, like 19 is constant. And if you want to know about Schumann resonance, go look, do some of your own research. There's a gal, Celestial Sage on YouTube, and she's also on Instagram. You can always go check her out. But she's got good information, and you just got to see how she resonates with you, how I would tell anybody. And for me, I feel a little bit more flighty. I feel, just a little bit more. If anything outside, if the past or the future wants to get into my business right now, it cannot be there because there is no concentration for that kind of stuff. That's how it feels.
And the way I'm operating, I've been talking about this for a while now, is being very diligent in my focus, which means being very present right here, right now. Mm-hmm. Because first of all, being an empath, being able to sense the energy of the masses, of like a world empath, feeling when a huge group is focused on something, like I can feel that energy. And still, we're like coming up on 2 years of focused in fear. On a higher scale than we used to be. I mean, fear has always been there, no doubt, but there's so many people collectively focused, fear-based focused on a specific topic at one time. And so feeling into that, that can send somebody like myself into a depression, into like, and it may not even be as far as depression, just a sadness that if I allow it to happen, I could stay in that for a very long time, like days, weeks. So being very diligent in my focus of being right here, right now, what's happening right here in my surroundings. I'm sitting here, I'm with you, I'm doing tea time. I have my phone set up so I could see any Facebook posts. So not allowing my mind, first of all, because once that like sadness or depression sits in, if I allow that to happen because I'm feeling the energy of others, that I could very easily, because I know myself very well, I could very easily start telling myself the stories of the past and allow the worry of future events. So that's where I'm at right now with myself and working on.
Gotcha. Which is that's a good place to be in, to be honest with you. Things are just they're happening. I mean, they're just happening around you, and it's whatever you want to give your energy towards or your attention to. And also recognizing if we want to label empaths, because we have, that a lot of people are familiar with that. It's so easy. As soon as you think about what's going on or a post that comes up and you automatically, without even realizing it, you tie into it that quickly. Like you're in that emotion that quickly. So it's so, and right now I feel like it's really easy to be present. We have caterpillars, I was gonna say running around. They're not really running.
Caterpillars running around. Okay.
They're like doing the body wave on the ground all the
What
time.
exactly are you doing in your free time, Bev, if
Yeah,
caterpillars are running around?
yes, exactly. Crazy thing bringing it up, but it's like I've been watching how the caterpillars move. I've been watching how they're munching on the trees. I have bees that I'll just, before I used to be so afraid of them, but since I started feeding them sugar water, I do it twice a day, at least twice a day. And they just freaking eat it up within an hour. It's like there's so much it's gone. So I'm constantly doing that. I don't have a fear. I'm constantly in that present moment. So for me, it's like so easy to be present. I can watch the butterflies. There's millions of butterflies these days. They're
Yeah,
everywhere,
a lot.
which in a global, in a global respect, that is, we're amongst a huge transition. We
Yep.
are. People are so afraid because there's a change going on, and they're giving energy to something they don't want, that doesn't even have to be in their experience. It doesn't have to be. So that being said, the other day, it was actually, I think it was Sunday morning, I was listening to some different music. It's paying attention to what's on your mind or what's on your energy, so to speak. I get up in the morning, and if I'm in a good place, and I usually set my intentions, sometimes I get kind of caught up in stuff too. But if I set my intentions, or I know what my intentions are, it's going to be a great day. It feels good. Like everything I see is going to motivate me. Then I go on. If I log on to Facebook real quick to check things out, everything I see is nothing but positive and uplifting. Well, the Sunday morning happened to be one of those days, and I'm listening to this music, and I'm just sitting outside and, paying attention to the caterpillars and the butterflies. And I just lean back and I'm listening to this music, and all of a sudden I see myself, and I'm not doing anything. I don't take anything. I don't smoke pot. I don't do anything. I don't. It's been over a year since I've had smoked or anything like that. But I'm sitting out there and I see myself, like I've been asking, like, what's my soul name? And I don't know what that is yet, that's my journey. It's just a question. If it resonates with someone, you can look into it yourself. Um, but for me, it's like I saw myself as this amazing self that stood out in front of me, looking at me and putting my hands on my face and touching my eyes, and like doing it was so amazing. And I would love to repeat that, sure, but I can't. If I'm trying to repeat something that's already happened, then I'm not allowing the new stuff to come in, right?
Right.
So, but I had that feeling, that emotional things, like having such, I've never experienced that before, but feeling such love for myself and from myself. It was freaking amazing. So it's like, amongst all this stuff that may seem like it's crazy, there's so much growth going on. There's so much asking for something to be better. There's so much more than just being stuck in that fear-based energy. And I was listening to something this morning, and it said, reminding me again to ask, is this my fear? Because like you said, if there's a group or a global thing going on, and a majority of people are in that, we're going to feel it. But
Yeah.
it is an opportunity for us to ask ourselves, is this mine? Is this my fear? Where's this fear coming from? And it's also taking our power back and saying, I'm not allowing this energy anymore. I'm not allowing this programming in my experience any longer. Like, it's taking back your control, period. So
Yeah.
whatever you got to say after that.
Whatever. Okay, thank you for joining tea time. um, what I want to talk about, I think it goes a little along the lines of what you're saying, is fear keeps stuff alive that we don't want. So if we're focused in the fear of having it, that it's in our experience or it's an experience around us, and we're focused on it, that keeps the momentum going of whatever we're focused on. Maybe we're saying it differently today than we have in the past, but we've been talking about this for a year and a half. And now one person focused on something from a fear-based um, perspective keeps momentum alive in that experience or that situation or just the energy of it. When you have masses focused on it, big things happen that continue to be fear-based. And that has been evident for the last year and a half or more, that it has been one event after another that creates fear. And fear is going to keep alive that, first of all, that which you do not want, but also is detrimental to your own physical body, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. When we're staying in that fear-based mentality of what is going on in the world or in your home, then you're creating that fear creates stress. Some fear creates good stress, but the fear that's happening right now in the majority of the population is diminishing stress, not diminishing stress that is diminishing your physical body. And when you diminish your physical body, you're creating, I'm trying to find good words here. Your physical body starts to deteriorate faster than it would have had you been in a space of joy or even just good feeling or a space of love. Being in that space of fear-based stress is weakening the physical body and will create the manifestation of the physical ailments. So it is vital, like it is vital that we shift our energy, because if what we've talked about and what the way the law of attraction works and manifesting is whatever you focus on grows. So if you've been in the mentality for several years of being fear-based focused, then that keeps fear-based energy alive, which contributes to anything else out there in the world that is fear-based. Just like Bev was saying, it links you up like you're cooked in. And it just expands that energy in a way that can get what may seem right now, you may perceive it as kind of an out of control experiences that are happening and you can't do anything about it. The best thing that we can do as an individual, which will lead into collective, because more people that are doing it, is to be in your present moment, to shift your awareness, shift your perspective, focus on what you want. What do you want in this world? What do you want in your home environment? What do you want within yourself? Because it all starts with self. And as you start with yourself and expand on what you want and how you want to feel, which hopefully is to feel good or feel better than what you feel now, is that's going to expand that energy out. You become an example to others. Others can see, like, in a world that is being perceived as crazy, for lack of a better word, that other people can see you still being in your joy, which may encourage them to do the same, which is going to encourage them to shift their energy and their perspective. And then that just keeps rippling out. It's us collectively raising our vibration to shift whatever is going on from what you don't want to what you do want. That might have been a long explanation, but you know what? I have time.
Yes, you do. And we can shift it. And that's the thing to be aware of. It's two different vibrational energies. It really is. One's, I mean, if you look at it in the numbers, one's a higher vibration, maybe a higher vibrational hertz than the other. I mean, it really is. So it's like that when you're in that higher power, the higher vibration, the love, then nothing else really matters. And I say the love, I was just reading something about Wayne Dyer, and he had a past life experience. And in this past life experience, he was stepping in this light, and he kept saying it's so simple, just to love myself and love everybody. Love myself. And he repeated it over and over and over again. Love myself and love everybody. It changes everything. It really does. And sometimes that's not always easy, but it's not easy if you're looking at it from judgment, from anger, from fear. But when you're looking at it from love, you love everybody. Everybody's on a journey. Everyone's got a purpose. Everyone, I mean, some people's purpose that comes here, they come here to actually hurt us, to help us to ask for more. And that's probably a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. But I've had experiences, and those experiences have only made me who I am. And I'm sure I've been an experience for others. Very positive of that.
Right. Good
Yeah.
end on the other end.
Yeah. I mean, it's all good. So, but it's just finding the time, and we're at a time right now. I really feel like you got to honor yourself. You really have to honor yourself. If you need time, take the time. I had someone tell me recently, oh, I wanted to take the time off, and I decided not to do it. It's like your soul is like saying, do this. And then your mind is like, oh, I shouldn't do this. They'll need me. They probably, I got to be able to do this so the whole business runs, whatever the excuses that we give ourselves. Because I used to do it too. How could I take off and go off on myself? Who was going to take care of the family? You know, who's going to keep everything running like it was all up to me? The world does keep spinning without us, by the way. I mean, I guess it's really always with us because we just transition from skin to just vibration and back to skin sometimes. So
But the
we're
world's
just
gonna
taking,
keep spinning.
yeah. So we're just taking things too seriously, like really step back and see how it feels, see what it looks like. There's a different message for everything. And it really is individual. It really is. For me, you know, if I'm seeing somebody else and they're not doing something that I feel is right, what am I doing that my soul feels like it's not right, or that I feel like I'm going against myself? You know, there's things that we do, and it could be something as simple as I said I was going to get up at 7 o'clock and I got up at 10. You know what I mean? It's just simple. It's little stuff like that, how we don't keep our words to ourselves. But that's my perspective. That's how I can visually see things. Those are my experiences. It doesn't mean it's somebody else's experience. And all I can do is offer up whatever I've experienced, whatever I've learned. And it just because it works for me doesn't mean it's always going to work for you. And sometimes it's because there's some more work to go through. And I, you know how I feel about the word work, blah. Maybe there's some more things to let go of. Like I said, someone had asked me recently about, you know, oh, I just want to have peace. Well, these experiences are showing up to present peace for you, because these are the obstacles for you as an individual that you're keeping you from having your peace. So like, freaking enjoy all the stuff that's showing up for you. All of it. There's nothing good or bad.
Well, when you said peace, most people, I know because I'm guilty of it myself, is we pray for peace in the world, which means the world needs to change before I can enjoy it. And if in our lifetime, collectively, if we as the human population are still praying for peace in our lifetime globally, we don't know what that looks like. We have not a clue what that looks like. And because the world in our lifetime has never completely been at peace. No war, no shooting people, no rapes. Like we don't know what that is. However, you can experience peace within yourself. And again, that just comes to shifting your energy, me shifting my energy, Bev shifting her energy, the peace. I can know what peace is within myself. I need to define that for myself before I can expect the whole world to experience it. I know early in my years when I was in my depression, and sadness and anger and all that, I was praying for peace for the world. I was saying it. I didn't have it within me though. So how could I know what that looks like on a world basis if I don't even know or have defined what it is for myself? And then in my 30s, when I was going through my healing transition, I went from being in that depression and anger and resentment and guilt and shame to a level of contentment. I talked about this not too long ago. Contentment was a brand new sensation to me, to be in that space for a long period of time. I didn't even know how to define that. If I can't define contentment, how am I going to define peace? So I had to be in that space of contentment for a while to understand what, I mean, I didn't even have the word contentment yet. It took me a long time to figure out, what is this I'm feeling? And I kept asking, what is this I'm feeling right now? Because this is really odd to just be in this space. And then finally, I mean, it was like weeks, probably months before I had a word of contentment. But the word contentment was presented to me. I was like, okay, yeah, I can get that. I feel that. It resonates. So if I can be at a space of contentment, can I keep moving into a space of joy or happy? It's just a little glimpse of happiness more often. Can I move in that direction? The more I moved in that direction, the better I felt. And then there was peace. So even for myself over the years, it's been a journey to even experience peace. So I find it important that you experience that within yourself, because that's where all the transition, all the change, all the energy shifts starts, is in ourselves first, because I can't expect Bev to be at peace if I don't even know what that means. And
It is all inside job.
to say that the world needs to be at peace so I can be happy, that's a huge order.
Well, it's just like attracts like, and when you experience what peace feels like, you're going to experience it outwardly as well. Everything is an inside job. It is not up to anybody else to love you, to nurture you, to take care of you. None of all that stuff is an inside job. Your emotions that you want to feel are an inside job. When you start asking questions, that lets the universe know, I don't know everything, and I want help. I want to see things differently. I want to feel things differently. And it's not up to us to feel anything, the outward stuff. It really isn't. It's up to us to feel the inward stuff. And once you do recognize what peace feels like, what you determine how it feels for you, like I said, that you're going to feel it outside of yourself. When you start feeling that love for you, you're going to start seeing it everywhere you go. You're not going to see the other stuff. You're not going to see the discord. You're not going to see what you might perceive as non-peaceful. Everything's going to show up as peace. Things are just going to flow that way. And I can't tell you, it's something you have to practice yourself. It is, right. Because my experiences are my experiences. Me having an experience with my higher self, my soul, whatever you want to call it, that's my experience. But it just presents an opportunity for someone else to have a visual that this could happen, or gosh, I wonder how that could happen for me. I wonder how I could feel that. I wonder what peace feels like. I wonder how I could live peaceful all day long. What if I practice being in peace this whole week? What does that look like? What does it feel like? And how do I proceed? Like asking questions, we just don't have, it's all right to not have the answers. It's all right. I mean, I actually think it's pretty cool now. Before I used to be always, I know, I know, I know. Yeah, I didn't know shit.
I, I know. I didn't know shit either.
I just didn't. But it was like that's like a protective thing, right? I feel like that's a lot of protective, like, no, I'm all right. I'm not inadequate. I don't need anybody's help. I know, I know. I don't need that. Thank you. But when we do that, we just shut ourselves off from everything. And that's okay too. It's just an experience. We're just here on an experience. We're just here in the school of life, having fun, feeling things. So when we bounce into bliss, it's like, oh my God, this is what it feels like. And as soon as we rock out of it, it's like, this feels like shit. But guess what? I get to bounce right back into bliss again. It's my choice. What do I want to focus on?
Right.
I'm going to focus on all those freaking worms out there breakdancing and doing the wave and stuff. That's what I'm focusing on these days.
I love it.
The birds,
Do it.
everything that's outside in, like a kid, I'm visually watching and seeing and growing. And that just goes back to the same thing. It takes you into the now. And then recognize, how do you feel right now when you're experiencing those things? Because most of us haven't even taken the time to even feel how that feels.
Right.
And so the only way you're going to find out is paying attention to yourself. Really, it all comes back down to self. All of it does. Everything.
Yep. We have this tendency to just put ourselves aside, that the way we're feeling doesn't matter. The even to cry.
Oh yeah.
Like, crying in my earlier days was of course sign of weakness. Nobody was going to see me cry, even though I was crying all the freaking time. It was behind closed doors. And now it's, the vulnerability is the new strong. Be vulnerable. Let people know, hey, I'm struggling. I got this weight on my shoulders I don't know what to do with. And feel it. Allow yourself to feel it. Let somebody know you're feeling it is the key, though, because we think we need to do things on our own. We got to do it all by ourselves. But when you use your voice and speak out and say, I'm struggling, I would like some support here, and however somebody could support you, that is saying, I'm ready to be seen. When we put the mask on that, oh, I got this, nobody's gonna see me cry, I'm strong, right? Those are masks, and we're not allowing ourselves to be truly seen. Like Bev said, we are all bumping around in this life, just figuring it out. Nobody has just like nobody had the manual of raising children. And the way children were raised generations ago definitely isn't the way children are being raised right now. And so there's evolution. And even in business, that, businesses are closing. We don't know the dynamics of the manifestation of a business closing. There's so many stories that could be associated to that is that person's experience. However, that person who had to close that business, probably it could be one story, could be they weren't even enjoying it anymore. When they opened the business, it was amazing and wonderful and they were excited, but over time they got wore down. They're just exhausted, and there's no more joy in it. And so for it to close may be a blessing to them, because now it frees them up to do something else. It's just like when I say evolution, that when things happen, like such as what's happening now in our world, is that new thinking takes place. A shift in the way people think, and the shift in the creativity happens. And so yeah, there are some things that when you look at them, they look sad, they look you know, you might see it through eyes of anger or just pissed just comes to my mind, pissed, right? That this is happening. But in retrospect, what good may come from any of it or all of it? We don't know that. We don't know that story. We don't know that journey for that particular person. You can have a person who let's just take the medical field, for example. You know, they choose not to get vaccinated. They lose their job. Maybe their joy in that job no longer was in their heart, and they're just like doing it just for the paycheck, just for the benefits, but doing the job was not fulfilling. So they decide not to get vaccinated. They get canned. So in whatever way that happens. And then that person finds something that really makes their heart sing, and it could still be in the medical field, just doing something different.
Exactly.
Right. So we don't know all those stories. Yeah, it's very easy to get wrapped up in the surfacey things that we see. We don't see the big picture. We don't see that person's life. We don't know their stories. We don't know what energy they're still carrying with themselves to be in the situation that they're in. We don't know the dynamics of why two people are attracted to one another for an experience to happen. But what we get is the headline that says, this was a horrible thing. This is how you should feel. Go riot, go fight, go declare war, whatever. But there's so much more going on that we can't even fathom to take in, because we got to deal with our own damn selves, right? Stay in your lane. Get in your own fucking lane. Stop trying to be in everybody else's lane.
Yeah.
Get in your lane. Tend to your business. Tend to your energy. Tend to your self-care. Tend to your love. Take the energy and the focus and attention that you're putting on everybody else's stuff and redirect it, and amazing things will happen for you when you make yourself the priority.
Unity within self.
It's so
It's
funny
huge.
because I get all excited and I'm all like, right. And Bev's like, yes, that is the word. The word is with Amie.
The word. I just hear you. I hear what you're saying. I understand. I do.
I just get
I get it.
excited. That's my excited energy. I'm like, hear me now. Hear me roar.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like it. I like it. But it is. We've got to have the unity within self. Honestly, that's really for me. And we've been talking about it. It has a lot to do with what's going on right now. And division within myself was, I didn't believe in my higher self. I felt like my higher self wasn't with me, like making decisions, because I can feel things when I ask for a yes or a no or whatever. I feel things in my body. And I got to where it's like, I didn't even ask. I wouldn't even ask, which may sound crazy to someone else, but whatever. I don't care what people think about me anymore. I love y'all anyways. But it's like you feel like you're asking these questions and you're not getting the right answers, and maybe right answers, maybe it's not the right answers, maybe it's just, maybe I wasn't asking a question the way that I meant to or how I felt. It's really having that unity within self, because I started I always relied on my universal team, and I didn't include my higher self as my universal team, when really the most important relationship I have is with my higher self, my soul. That's my connection to everything. And if I'm disconnected and I'm not listening to my own intuition, my own guidance, if I'm constantly second guessing every decision I've ever made, because every decision was the right decision based on the circumstances at the time. Would I make different decisions now? Absolutely. You bet your ass I would. There's numerous things that I would have done differently because I have different information now. But why punish myself? Because I decided to grow and gain new tools and look back on stuff that I could have or should have or would have done differently. Why beat myself up for that? there's no use to it. So at that point, I'm creating division within myself. There's no unity. I'm second guessing everything. What if all that, because I don't know for sure, I would probably say in a lot of yeses. What if all that information that was flowing to me, those decision-making choices that I made at that time, maybe those were the exact correct decisions? Because I'm sitting here right now. I had experienced the life that I had experienced that got me to right now. So I mean, why do we have to look at ourselves and think there's something so wrong with us when there's nothing wrong with us? It's like we've done all the best things. The only thing that I could find within myself is, why would I have division within myself? And that started when we were younger, because we were taught, we've talked about it a million times, and we'll talk about it a million more. We were taught to pay attention to things outside of ourselves. Why did you talk to that person that way? Go sit in your room and think about this, and you get your butt beat, whatever happened at that time. And it just taught you more and more not to go within and self-reflect and figure out how you had done things differently. You go into the fight or flight or the ego, or, training yourself. Well, I can't do this anymore, because if I do this, then mom's going to react and this is what's going to happen. So you train yourself to be more in tune with everything outside of yourself all the time. And it's not anything wrong with it, because guess what? We got to be trained outside of ourselves. Now I'm a freaking adult and I get to make a decision. Do I still want to be operating from those same decisions, from those same emotions? Or do I want to take the opportunity and gain new information, to gain new feelings, and allow these things to feel differently, to allow my life to go in a different way, to start listening to what the voice inside of me is saying, not the voice that was on the outside of me that punished me or maybe sit in the corner. And it doesn't mean that they were bad people. They were experiences. Life is an experience, unless we want to shut ourselves off in a room somewhere and never leave our house and torture ourselves with the news or whatever else you're doing while you're locked up. Because we got to experience, we're co-creators. That's how we make more. That's how we make things better.
And I like your example of divisiveness, because there's a lot of divisiveness going on amongst the population. Again, turning that energy and focus to self. How am I dividing myself? That I would also include as a disconnect to spirit. I've divided human from spirit. I am either human or I'm spirit, when in fact you are both. And so to bring that unity into self, of connecting to your spirit and allowing the human and the spirit to intermingle, be of one, be in unity, and be the creator you're meant to be from a spirit-based person. I feel, I talked about this last year, that I was feeling this very strongly, that there is such a disconnect in a spiritual practice for so many, that when you're disconnected from spirit, you're saying, I'm disconnected from my source. And what's happening, I need to be more in my human side and focus on the stuff going on outside of myself. And when we're doing that, that's where more fear is created. When we step into our spiritual being, connecting with our spirit, and bringing that focus into our spiritual being, spirit is love. Spirit is love. There's no deterrent from that. And the more you're connected to spirit, the more love that you experience within yourself, the more love that's emanated, then there's more love expressed human to human. On a soul level, on a spiritual level, where every person on this planet, even our political leaders, the people in power, the people who are the murderers, the rapists, the thieves, all of us are spirit and body. Some are just more disconnected, not disconnected, but has created space between the spiritual being that they are and the human side of themselves. And again, that all goes back to their upbringing, their stories, their their emotional states, the stories they're telling themselves. Like there's a huge package involved with each one of us as an individual. But when it comes to a spirit level, we are all spirit and body, and we are all love, period. End of story. Exclamation point. There is no other conversation. We are love already. So tap into that and let that shine brighter. More people, you doing that. No, I'm not smoking either. Or drinking. Maybe it's the coffee, I don't know. By you tapping into your spiritual being, the love that you already are, and allowing that to emanate and shine, again, that allows you to be an example to others and encourage others to do the same. One of the things, you said you've been talking about for a while is you keep asking questions internally, which means you're talking to your higher self or source or whoever that might be, God, angels. I'm in a mastermind group for business, and it is a spirit-based mastermind group for business. Doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. If you're an insurance agent, running a restaurant, doesn't matter. You're incorporating some kind of spiritual practice within your business. And the first question she asked us was just yesterday. She asked us, who are you in partner with? Do any of you have a partner in your business? None of us, we're on a Zoom call. There's about 12 of us. None of us raised our hand. And I was like, been there, done that. Hell no, ain't doing it again. Right? No. So I'm taking notes as she's talking. I got my head down. I'm taking notes as she's talking. She goes, okay, well, if you're spirit-based, spiritual being having a spirit-based business, your business partner is source, is universe, is the angels, is God, is something higher than yourself. So who is your business partner? And I would strongly suggest that you start having regular meetings with them. And I was like, oh, drop the mic, boom, done. She hit, it's like, wow. I only thought about that as when I'm in meditation, I'm connecting. I'm allowing information to flow. I'm allowing myself to be in peace. I'm allowing myself to be in love. And when she said you need to have regular business meetings with your spiritual team, I was like, damn, we need to be having regular meetings, love-based meetings with our spiritual team. Everybody. And that just means coming into your heart space. If anything, just put your hand on your heart, sit there and breathe for 2 minutes. That is probably way more time that you've given to your spirit than you have your entire life. So I thought that was a great awareness.
Because that's the voice that matters.
It really is.
It really is. And we are all that voice if we allow ourselves. My thing is, if each person takes the time to recognize, if they can visualize that we're under this divine beam of light, always, we're always have this connection right here. And sometimes we get so caught up in chasing off after stuff that's going on right now, division and that's, what's wrong and what's right, and people going against each other. We get pulled all the way over there in your divine connections, all the way over here. This light is shining right here. It's like this vibrant golden ray of light that it's almost blinding from afar because you're out in the darkness looking at it and it looks like it's blinding, but when you're in it, you've got a constant flow. There is no disconnect, none. And it's just taking the time to recognize when you do step into that place and visually seeing yourself doing that on a regular basis. And we've all been told we're not alone. We're never alone. I could be on this planet and not another person be in sight, but I'm never alone, ever. Because we always have, there's a lot of universal stuff going on here right now, and it's not even in just this planet or on this planet or in this frequency. It's like there is so much stuff going on right now all the time that it's like, what do you want to hook into? It's your choice. You have a choice. This is your life. You want to hook into the fear? Okay, go ahead. Enjoy that. But if you're going to do it, like do it real good. Like really soak it up and enjoy it. And then finally be like, why are we at 2 years and people are just now deciding like, I'm kind of getting sick and tired of this. Why did it have to take that long to get sick and tired of it? Because people got to get fed up. It's like you're constantly being fed a fear over and over and over again, and the things aren't happening the way they're trying to scare you. How long do you want to stay in that space? How does love feel? Does love feel good? If you don't know, ask. Like if you really don't know, maybe you're a person that grew up and didn't feel love, didn't feel nurtured, didn't ever feel any of that. So you have no way of knowing what that feels like, or even how to gravitate towards it. Start asking questions. The same thing that you said. I ask questions. I didn't used to ask questions because, like I said, I knew everything. So I was like, my light was right here, and I was like 4 miles to the left, whatever, or right, didn't matter. I was wherever the light wasn't, right? That was
Yep.
me forever. And it's like now that I'm recognizing that it feels so much better, there's more of a connection. And I'm not saying that I don't get into those places too. I get into those places sometimes too. You just don't happen to see me online when that's happening, because that's my time to figure out, how am I going to steer through this? What does that look like for me? Because then I can go share that experience with you. And then just us having these conversations, and sometimes we are experiencing some of those experiences, maybe on a milder level, but now we're talking about it. And then we start working through it right here with you during this whole recording. So it's like there's find people to gravitate towards, ask for, you've talked about the number of people that you have in your experience and how that's a reflection basically of what you're wanting to experience, what you're looking at these days. Everything is there for a reason. So it's like, okay, well then ask for higher energies to show up in your experience. More loving energy, more peaceful energies. Ask for those things and they'll show up. But you got to have an awareness. I say, but you have to. You can choose to be aware of what you just asked for as the answers are coming in, or you can choose to ignore it and feel like nothing's ever showing up. It's a choice. How do you want to feel?
And here's the thing, you can be in a fear base and focus fear base, asking for the good to show up, but the good is right there in front of you already, but you're too focused to the left or the right instead of right here.
Because it's two different energies. Fear is not the same thing as love. It's not. They're two different vibrational frequencies. I'm sure someone's done the scientific measures of everything as far as those emotions go. Just like I was saying earlier, 19 hertz is a fear base. And I think, I don't know if it was 432, 423, or whatever the heart vibrates or love vibrates at that frequency. It's two different frequencies. And look how low fear is.
Yep.
Like it's at 19. It's below our hearing. This is a 20. So if I'm going to jump on a disc that's flying around, I'm going to try to go as high as I possibly can. Not to say that I don't get freaking lost sometimes, because I do. But the only reason I get lost is just so I can jump up and go to a place that feels good and I can recognize, oh, this feels so much better. Ah, I can enjoy it simply. I can just enjoy this bliss now. Just this one moment. I can enjoy it. So I can get more of those moments. And then if I want to dip out just so I can jump back into bliss again, okay. That's whatever makes us happy.
Yep.
And it's a choice. You're not a victim. They've talked about people being prisoners, being in the prison at jail, in a prison. And you still have an opportunity. You can still be open-minded. You can still not be a prisoner while you're in that experience.
The one thing, this was a reminder recently, the one thing that nobody can take away from you is your imagination. So you could be in a prison cell, but with your imagination, you could be anywhere. Fear keeps you trapped in a prison. And your imagination is what could go wrong. So we say, tell a new story. Tell a story of what could go right, what could feel good, what could be amazing, what could be phenomenal, what could be fabulous, what could be incredible. So these are our choices. And nobody can take your imagination away. That's yours. I mean, you could explain to me what you're imagining, but I could not deeply and fully feel or see what you're seeing because it's your imagination. So it's no different if you tell somebody, imagine your dream home. Do you know how many different dream homes there are? Some people might want a little tiny house or shack, and some people might want a mansion. But that's your imagination, and it's for you to do with it what you want. Choose wisely. Choose wisely in how you're using your imagination, because again, what you put your attention on grows. And choose what you want, not what you don't want. You already know what you don't want. It's been very evident for like 2 years, if not more. You already know what you don't want. That has been very clearly defined. I don't think it could get any more defined. It's very, very clear what I don't want. I don't want my freedom taken away. I don't want my freedom of choice taken away. That is very clear to me. So I can either focus on the fear of that is going to happen, because that seems like the avenue we're going, or I shift my energy to focus on what I want to happen. I want to have freedom of choice. I want to be able to roam this country freely. I want more love expressed amongst the humans. I want to focus in that direction because that absolutely feels so much better to me. And if I'm one person doing it, I am encouraging others by example. I don't have to go out and teach anybody to do this. I can lead by example. And then if somebody else joins the train, that's 2 people. And then another person for each of us, that's 4 people. Like it just continues to grow. And the more people that we are focused on what we want, the more it's going to shift the energy in that direction. More than one person's a party, so let's party. Partying feels good.
And there's a lot of, it's like I said before, or like you've said, the more we focus on that stuff that feels good, the more it's going to show up. Because that's how it works. Whatever vibration you're putting out, advertising, asking for, speaking of, whatever, however you want to look at it, that's what you're getting. What do you want more of?
Yep. And earlier, Bev was talking about measurements of vibration and emotions. So there's 2 books that you can get to get more information about that. One is Power versus Force by David Hawkins. And the other one is the book by Abraham Hicks. Is it the Law of Attraction book, where she has the emotional scale in there?
I think so. Yeah, because I actually think she's got that in a couple of them. I've listened to a few of the books and read a few of them. So
yeah, so Abraham Hicks, their books have what they call the emotional vibrational scale. I think that's what it's called, vibrational emotional scale. I don't know those 2 words. Anyway, but both of those books talk about the energy of emotion and going from low vibrational emotion to high vibrational emotion. So lowest being like shame. Shame is like right there when, which is when we're typically people who commit suicide are in the space of shame for so long and they can't see a way out. And then the high vibration is joy, love, enlightenment. So does it mean you're going to reach enlightenment in the human body? Don't put the pressure on yourself, but at least make the effort to be on a journey towards joy. And to me, joy and love are equivalent. They're interchangeable.
Very nice.
So there you
like
have
that.
it.
Yeah.
The words have been delivered for Tea Time with Amie and Bev for this week, and we appreciate your time and energy. And if you know somebody who could use what we've shared or could hear would be beneficial if they heard what we shared, then share our videos. We are currently on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Podcast Addict, YouTube, and Facebook. So there should be no excuse for anybody as to why they can't listen.
I agree. It could be beneficial. Just saying.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Bev, for your time and energy. I love that you bring so much to the conversations, and I'm greatly appreciative of you and your time.
Thank you. I really appreciate yours too.
All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining us. We have friends on Facebook that's been listening in, so we appreciate you being with us as well. And we're here every week, so talk to you, love you, and make it a phenomenal week.
Yep. Have a magical week.